NNRG.
So here we have Dungeon Explorer, or just, okay, there's the Explorer. One thing I find interesting is it actually has that stereo logo in the bottom there to let you know that there's stereo sound. Well, I mean, that works depending on how you've connected the thing to your TV and stuff. Anyways, I already got a story. I missed that. Let's rewind a moment here. Okay, long ago there was a small and civilized country named Odessia. This was a land of peace and harmony where people helped their neighbors and life was happy and tranquil. The symbol of Odessia's prosperity was the ancient and mysterious Aura Stone. The Aura was special because it controlled the power of the people's will. Whoever held the stone ruled the country and its citizens. One day, unfortunately, aliens from another world heard of the stone's magic. These were wicked men with evil powers of their own. They wanted the stone so they could dominate the people. However, one man saw this danger and hid the Aura Stone so no one could ever find it. And this is scrolling faster than I can read it out loud. Terror reigned as the aliens became masters of the dungeons and vented their aggression on the people. The king of Odessia saw the ruins of his once proud country and made a desperate plea for someone brave enough to defeat the aliens and retrieve the stone. And one day, a visitor came to town and offered the troubled king his help. The king and his country placed their fate and only hope in this brave and gallant stranger. Thus the search for the Aura Stone begins. The irony of that statement being that this is a 1 to 5 player cooperative game. So something I should point out is that I have indeed played this particular game before. We're going to see right now a list of classes that you can choose. Even though this makes itself out to sort of be like an RPG, it's actually more of a Gauntlet clone, but a Gauntlet clone that isn't on a timer. Like, one of the things about the original Gauntlet that makes it so difficult is that its arcade nature kind of necessitated the inclusion of some way of timing things down, or like counting down to doom and something. So with Gauntlet and with any games that are like Gauntlet, there's some kind of countdown going on. You're against the clock, but this game is not like that. This game is much more straightforward, and we're going to see some demo gameplay right now. I was actually showing 3 players at a time with this particular demo. But yeah, as you can see right here, this is like overhead gameplay a la Gauntlet. There's power-ups you can pick up, enemies come out of spawners, you gotta destroy the spawners to keep moving on. One thing I think can happen is you can actually hurt the other players. There's friendly fire in this game. In fact, I think there's actually a special area so that players can duel it out. But yeah, we're not going to be doing any of that. We're going to actually like play the game normally. So we pushed run to start, and now we get a overview of the land in a sense. And there's some of our heroes up on the plateau, waiting to go down and save everyone from themselves. Well, not from themselves, from the aliens, but you know what I mean. Welcome! How many persons would like to play? Push run and hold for up to 5 players. So this is kind of a weird way of doing it. You have to basically hold the run button until the number of players you want is reached, because the game doesn't really have a way to tell how many people are connected. Or wait a minute. I've never actually tried this before because I've only ever played the game solo. Apparently what it's looking for is it's looking for everybody to hold their run buttons down. And then once all players are holding their run buttons down, they can release, and that's how it knows how many people are actually playing. And that's probably how it would determine which controller slots to use even. And then the other trick with the game here is that you can put in a password to restore your character. Not your progress through the game, but your character. I'm not entirely... I've played the game before, but I didn't really play it a lot, so I don't quite understand exactly how the progression works. All I know is that this password system is more so tied to the player than the progress. Because the idea is that each player playing can put in their own password to restore their own character for however far into the game that they've gotten, right? But no, we're just going to start new here, so we choose member, and that gives us our class selection. Fighter, Thief, Warlock, Witch, Bard, Bishop, Elf, or Gnome. As in Knight. Well, no, it's supposed to be Gnome, but yeah, the details of these stats they were listed in the splash screen in the opening, but it's also listed in the manual. The thing is that there are a lot of different abilities and stuff, but if you're playing the game solo, the game really is geared towards playing as a fighter solo, just because of the specific abilities the fighter gets. Like, the thing is, like, just to give an example, we got the Warlock here. Now, I've got the manual up on a different screen, and I can tell by looking at the Warlock stats here that the Warlock's primary white magic, everybody gets a white magic spell and a black magic spell. The Warlock's white magic spell is a stun effect, and their black magic spell is a thunderbolt. The stun effect basically stops all enemies from moving, the thunderbolt deals damage to enemies. Well, the problem here is that neither of those work against bosses. So, whereas with the fighter, the fighter's white and black magics are basically a magic shield and a magic saber, which increase defense or increase attack power. They're like the only two effects that are any useful against bosses. So if you're playing the game solo, you kinda need to go with the fighter to have the best chance of survival. Also, one last thing I should point out before I actually get going with everything here, the Bard is a very weird class. Like, the Bard class isn't very good in combat, isn't very good, period. And their special abilities, their spells, their white I forget if it's the white or the black magic, it probably says in the manual, but one of them just allows you to change the music, which is weird. But the other one is a special kind of recovery teleport that just teleports the entire party back to this tavern. That way, you can completely avoid death. But yeah, because the Bard is not very useful, not good to have a Bard in your party unless you got a big party. But it's just me, so we're playing as a fighter. So we immediately start off, we got our moves here. We have one button to attack. It's automatic fire even without turbo. So that's one thing to point out there. I think you can only have 2 shots on the screen at a time, yeah. And then you can use the select button to change whether you're using your white or black magic. They have zeros beside them because I don't have any yet. There's a button to cast your magic, which I can't do at the moment. And if you hit the run button, it brings up the menu screen for your character, and you can either show the password for your character, you can show the stats of your character, or you can show level details. So status is, our current character level is level 1 with a maximum of 18 hit points. And I should point out that you don't gain levels in the traditional way. Defeating enemies doesn't gain you levels. To gain levels, you'd have to defeat the bosses. And then as for these stats here, they're agility, attack, strength, and intelligence. So I believe the way it works is agility is movement speed, attack is attack power, strength I think is actually your defense, and intelligence affects how effective certain magic spells are. Now, I don't know if intelligence is really going to play a factor with the spells that the fighter gets. It might just simply increase their duration or something. I'm not entirely certain on that. And one thing I find that kind of interesting is you can leave up any one of these screens you want when you're in the single player mode. So we can leave the password on the screen, and anytime there's a change to our status that would be recorded with the password, we can actively watch the password change, which is kind of a weird thing, but I'd rather leave it on the status screen so I can see how my stats are going as I pick up items to improve those stats. So we start off in a town here that's near a castle. Yeah, there's the castle up there, because the king wants to speak to us, so let's go meet the king. I think we all just go up this way. Okay, one more flight of stairs. Okay, there we go. Welcome, brave one. But what if there were 5 of us? Well, would it be welcome, brave 5? I don't know. Anyways, I've waited a long time for you. Your mission awaits you. You know of the magic Aura Stone. Anyone who obtains the stone will have the power to rule the world. You must find the Aura Stone and bring it back to me. However, if the devil finds the stone first, he will wreak havoc on us all. Go to the lock dungeon in the south of the castle. My man Judas is waiting there for you. Before you go, here is some special magic that you will need to fight the enemy. And we get a one white magic cast and one black magic cast. Also, if you decide to go around talking to different townsfolk, I think they kind of hint that the king has gone evil. Like, that the evil that's trying to take over the world has taken over the king, and now the king is like the evil person. I don't actually know if that's true or not, that's just a guess. But if it's true, then yeah, I kind of called it. But yeah, there's generally no reason to go into different buildings or stuff. Like, there's no shops or anything like that. So we've got the tavern here that we started at, but if we go to, say, like, that place right there, it's just going to be a guy who talks to us. The devil himself is Natas. He looks for the aura. Death will follow if he finds it. I'm sure it will. Now we got another house here. It's going to be another person. King seems different since the devil appeared. He always worries about Odessia. Well, I mean, wouldn't you if you were ruling over the country? But yeah, the game is kind of open world. Kind of. The thing is that as you attempt to explore, you'll hit barriers in places that sort of prevent you from going forward if you're not really supposed to. But then not always. Like, right here we went to the west, and it's letting us go west. Oh, there's like nothing in here? I don't think I've ever actually been out this way. Again, even though I've played this game before, I didn't play it for long. Most of what I'm recalling about how the game works is actually coming from the manual. But yeah, even though we could go this way, I think you're actually meant to go south from the castle first. Because that's a pretty easy dungeon, if I recall, is... The very first dungeon is supposed to be like enemies that die in like one shot, like basic slimes and stuff. Like, that was not that. And I'm pretty sure the way we have to go is south. So let's go south. Oh yeah, we got a slime right there. And my shot just passed straight through it. Yeah, that's one of the interesting things about doing damage in this game. I'll demonstrate this in a moment. Let's just go talk to this person. The lock dungeon is near. Head west to find Melba Village. Danger awaits. Anyways, let's go into Lock Dungeon. I am Judas. The king has sent me to tell you that Bull Beast is near and mad. Okay. So yeah, with these slimes heading towards us here, you'll notice that I can defeat 2 with a single shot. Right? The way damage works in this game is when you hit an enemy, your attack will simply do as much damage as is needed to kill the enemy, and then your attack is reduced by that damage so that it can keep going and hit the next target in line. And then once the attack runs out of power to hurt enemies with, then it finally stops in its tracks. So we'll see with like that enemy there. Yeah, actually the fighter's pretty strong, so it's passing through even that. Ooh, I gotta be careful because you can accidentally destroy your power-ups. Do not want to destroy my power-ups. And this particular power-up is simply right here out in the open. Sometimes enemies drop these power-ups, but sometimes you can just find them. And this one's going to improve agility. Now, pay very close attention to the AG gauge at the bottom of the screen there, because it's going to go up by 1 pixel. This particular area here, we have to come in from another way. It doesn't look like you could go in from another way, but there's a lot of staircases in this game that don't have return staircases. So, like, you'll go down a staircase. I think even this one's like that. Yeah, and there's no staircase back up. So that happens a lot in this game. So yeah, generally speaking, you don't have to destroy everything, because everything respawns if you happen to leave the area and come back. Ooh, that's an attack power increase. So... generally, you just want to destroy the things that are, like, in your way, that are an immediate danger. Unless, of course, you have the option to destroy everything. Like, I mean, if you do destroy everything, it makes it easier to search around, just in case there's power-ups or other things. But it's not necessary, because again, there's no time limits going on. But then the other side of that is that when you defeat things, you do have the potential to get power-ups from them, and enemies can drop permanent power-up increases. Well, I say permanent. This one here is intelligence. I say permanent, but the thing is that I believe if you lose a life, it resets your stats in some way. I'm not 100% certain on that, though. Oh, we got the first boss here. I am Bull Beast. Who dares to trespass in my dungeon? You fool! Prepare to die! Okay, well, I'm gonna use my magic spells to get my defense up and to get my attack up, so that this battle will go real fast. And that actually boosted my agility, but as you can see, I'm now showing 36 hit points, because I gained an experience level from defeating the boss. Okay, and now we can push our way out of these stones here, get out of here, and now we can go this way by pushing this rock out of the way, because the king's particular person was in the way there before. And this leads to more dungeon. Yeah, there's a lot of interconnectivity between the various dungeons in this world and even the overworld sections. So it kind of really is about exploration and then just finding the various bosses and defeating them. Now, I'm not entirely certain how the game ends. Like, if it really is just find the stone and just bring it back to the king, it might be that simple. But again, there's certain sections that kind of prevent you from going further. And I mean, I'm not going into the buildings, but I guess I could, just to demonstrate that there's really not much going on here. The magic color crystal you got when you defeated Bull Beast will help your powers. Yeah, that's kind of an obvious. Get out there and kill that nasty gut worm so that we may live in peace. Okay, referring to another boss. I think that's like the boss that's terrorizing this particular village is Gutworm. Let's see if we can get some more info. Nice to see you. No one ever comes here anymore because they are afraid of Bull Beast. Well, I defeated Bull Beast, so that's not going to be a problem anymore in terms of that particular boss. It is easy to get to Baron Castle, but you must get rid of Blue Ruvid statue first. Okay. The gruesome Gutworm lives beneath our village. Defeat him as you are our only hope. Okay, so if we see a staircase nearby in this area, that probably means that that's where Gutworm is. And good job, you have defeated the Bull Beast. But beware, the Gutworm lurks below. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to defeat the Gutworm then. Okay, that was all the people in the area. Again, there's not really any real reason to go visit them, unless you want, like, some background and flavor text and stuff like that. Which, you know, fair that it's there, because some games don't even give you that much, right? Now, exploring around, there's definitely something over here, but I can't get to it. The Ruvid statue is near our home. Do you think you can destroy it? Okay, so that's that Ruvid statue that was kind of in the way of things. And it looks like there's some more stuff down here. Okay, yeah, I knew we'd find one eventually. Yeah, this is one of those barriers that you can't get past. And I don't actually know what it is that opens these. But anyways, let's make our way back up here because there's a staircase. This is going to go to the dungeon that Gutworm is in. So let's make our way through. We've got these little fire-spewing turrets. You can destroy them, but they take a number of hits. So it's better to just dodge them if you can, just to like save some time. Because I don't think the turrets can actually like drop anything. I know the regular enemies can, but I don't think the turrets can. Okay, that item there, I think that's holy water. I think that causes enemies to flee away from you. The stairs behind you will put you on your way to the Gutworm's dungeon. Aren't we already technically in the Gutworm's dungeon? Yeah, look at that. The enemies are running away from me right now because I've got the power of holy water. Ooh, and attack increase. I'll take that. I'm a fighter. I want all the attack power I can get. So yeah, in a situation like this, you could dodge these things, but I'm going to do my best to actually destroy them, just so that I don't accidentally get hurt by them. Ouch, I just got hit pretty bad by this particular fire thing. Unfortunately, it did go down pretty quickly, but still, that was kind of annoying. Yeah, I think I'm just going to make a run for the staircase. Yeah, that was a better thing to do. One other thing that's good to keep in mind, too, is that you can actually destroy enemy shots with your own shots. So, if an enemy's coming for you, usually the best thing to do is to just get in line with it and just shoot straight at it. That way if the enemy fires any shots at you, your own shots will destroy its shots. So the game is pretty favorable in that respect. Ooh, we got some power-ups amongst the flames. I want to try to avoid touching the flames. Oh, one of those was a heal. Okay, that's handy. And then... oh, right. This came up a little earlier, or even right up there with the stuff moving around. There's floors in this game which kind of move you against your will. And if you're not able to overcome them with your agility, well, look at that path we'd have to go through if we couldn't just run past this one. But what's funny here is that this particular one, so long as one member of your party can get through there, they can blast apart this rock, push this aside, and now all the party members can just walk around and totally avoid that whole fiasco at the left there. Also, what is that thing following me? Okay. That was a little weird. It was like moving through the walls and everything. Okay, moving down the staircase. Oh, we've got the boss. So let's use my magic so I can get nice and powered up. And that was real easy. Oh. The crystal changed color right before I picked it up. That's interesting. So that means you could wait for it to land on the color of stat that you specifically want to increase. Huh. That might actually be the only way to increase strength, because looking at the manual, I noticed that there's power-ups to permanently increase agility, attack, and intelligence, but I didn't see one for strength, which makes me wonder if one even exists or not. Also, I defeated the boss, and yet this dungeon is still continuing? Okay. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, there's more dungeons still. So this one looks like it's set up to... oh, there's some floors moving me around here. Oh, there's another one of those things going through the walls. I wonder what that's about. Like, maybe that's, because I've seen it a couple times now, but it seemed to come out of spawners that weren't for it. Like, maybe it's some kind of special enemy that just comes out if you're, like, taking too long or something. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of, given the fact that I've only seen it a couple times now, and both times it was on screens where I was on the screen for a bit first. So maybe that's what's going on. Maybe the game actually does have some kind of means of potentially taking you out if you're taking too long. But then at the same time, I was able to kill it, right? So... okay, we got a staircase up there. We also got a staircase up there. This was closer. I'll take this one first. Okay, so this is where that statue is. So now I can actually go back this way if I ever want to go back down here to go wherever this goes. Okay, we're in a different overworld section now. Got some bridges here. And a house with someone in it, presumably. Your capacity for black and white magic is limited, take caution. Okay, tell me something I don't know. Well, I said it looks like it's going to be the next dungeon, but it looks like there's someone in a cell? What? Who are you? I shall cry if you do anything violent to me. Maybe you are good. My name is Princess Aki. Grimrose has locked me in here, please save me. Okay, so I guess maybe there's something I can do to... no, that doesn't work. My guess is I'm going to need something specific, and also there's that guy trapped amongst a bunch of boulders. I'm kind of thinking of calling it here because we've gotten a good taste of how the game plays, but I am curious about one last thing. Because earlier I said I wasn't quite sure if the passwords were related to characters only or if they related to progression as well. And I think one way we can figure that out is to just try it. So let's go bring up my password here. Quickly write this down. And then we'll see if indeed this password brings me back to the state of progress that I'm at now, or if it just simply gives me my character with all of his stats. Okay, so let's reset the game. And then go into it, hold the run button so we get their one player going, go to password, and oh, interesting, the letters only go up to P. This probably makes things simpler for getting the passwords made and everything. Is it even every letter? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Okay. And G. Okay, so that gave me my fighter. Did not give him his magic. So magic is not attached to that. Oh, you know what? Neither is the stats. So all it gave me was my level. I've got a funny feeling that because it didn't give me my stats, just my level, that the progression is still going to be, like, reset back to 0. Oh, you didn't find the ore yet? Then go through Melba Village and get into the Barren Castle. However, beware, the deadly Grimrose lives there and she likes to prick. Before you go, here's some special magic. Okay, so the king did have different dialogue, so it's tracking something. Like, let's actually see what happens if we go down into the stairs. Okay, so the king's special person isn't there. So are we going to have to fight that boss again, or... No, it's gone. Of course, now this is sort of begging the question of what happens if you, like, have multiple members join who have different levels of progression into the game. Like, how does it decide what level of progress to keep, right? Well, once again, let's test some things here. So I've set this up so that I actually have 2 controllers emulated now. So if I put in a password here, and then have the other person choose member. Also, I should point out that when a particular character, when a player uses a particular character class, that class is locked out to all other players. So if I had chosen the fighter here, I wouldn't have been able to put in the password, because the password would have been for a fighter. But let's see here. Well, I guess it just doesn't matter, right? So we'll choose Warlock. Well, actually, we can tell where the progression is just by going up to the castle here. Because what'll end up happening is we'll see the message from the king, and we'll know where the progression is. Yeah, so it is tracking the progression from the password that I input. I would have to do so much more testing to know exactly how this is all tying together with multiple players. But the point is that the passwords are tied to the players, not to the particular well, I guess it is tied to progression too. It's tied to both. And then one last thing to mention is that at the bottom of the screen here, you see those 5 red sort of pips on the display? They're actually seeds of life. So whenever a character dies, they can revive, and they use a seed of life to do it. But of course, if you run out of seeds of life, then it's gonna be game over. So yeah, that was Dungeon Explorer, a Gauntlet type game that I find a heck of a lot more enjoyable than Gauntlet itself, just because of the fact that I am not a fan of time limits of any kind. But this game doesn't have one, which means you can play it at your own pace, and it supports up to 5 players at a time. Like, this is an interesting and decent game for the system, which, quite frankly, a lot of TurboGrafx-16 games are decent. So, that doesn't really come as a surprise.